Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Natural Food Pantry Education Series. I'm here with my guest, Karlene Karst, who is here to educate us on nutrition for learning, cognition, mental health, and emotional health for the whole family. Karlene Karst is a well-known nutritionist, a cookbook author, and founder of Sea-licious fish oil supplements. Karlene has a passion for healthy eating with a focus on whole foods, emphasizing omega-3s. Karlene is often seen on TV educating and guiding families toward healthy, successful eating. Welcome, Karlene. I'm so excited to have you with me today.
Thanks, Natasha. It's great to be here today.
We seem to have a lot in common. You know, we're both nutritionists, both moms of 3 kids. You have 3 kids as well. So lots of experience in the room here around healthy eating for kids' health and for the whole family.
Yeah, totally. You know what? It's so funny because I think we enter motherhood, especially as nutritionists, with these ideas of what, it's going to be like to feed a family based on what we know and what we want to make happen. And then we get into it, and you're like, okay, this is actually a lot harder than I anticipated. But no, I think with the experience and trial and error, you kind of find your groove.
You find your groove, and it depends on the personalities of the kids too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just jump right into the conversation and start with a discussion around healthy routines. I think that's something that a lot of parents overlook and that is so important. It's harder to maintain in the summertime for sure, but yeah. What are your thoughts on the importance of healthy routines for mental and emotional health?
Well, you know what? I think it's a game changer completely. And I know from personal experience that this is one of the things that I've really worked on over the last 20 years with my own life and my own health. And then in particular, when I became a mom, I found that the more organized and on top of my own schedule and routine, the more positive impact I saw with my kids and my family. And I think it goes to show that we thrive in a routine type environment. And that's why I think summer can feel sometimes a little bit, there can be a little bit of a disconnect because we are trying to relax on that routine, which is just as healthy. But if we are in a season of school and activities and managing a work and home environment, I think that honestly, when it comes to ensuring success with not only food, but with sleep and happy kids and a happy home, it can really benefit from figuring out what that routine can look like. And so I have found that personally to be a game changer. And it is one of the things that I really recommend for families to do is prioritize what that routine looks like for them in terms of when they wake up, when they eat, when they prep lunches, whether or not they're meal planning. All of those different strategies can really set the whole day and week up for success.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And what about breakfasts? How do you feel about the whole, breakfast is the most important meal of the day concept? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so pretty much yes. Yeah, I maybe it's because I personally love breakfast foods. Like I would be happy with, like chia pudding and hard-boiled eggs pretty much any time of the day. So I happen to love breakfast type foods, but I also have found that as my kids have gotten a little older, I've got a teenager and a preteen on my hands, I'm noticing they're not as hungry first thing in the morning as they were when they were younger. I think it's probably because they're kind of waking up almost right before it's time to eat. So it's not really giving them a chance to kind of let their metabolism start. But I have a hard rule that we don't leave this house without eating before, we get in the car. And I think it is really important. That's why eating, preparing or having food available that's easy to digest, that is really every bite kind of counts, that is not a lot of filler, that it is packed with protein, packed with fiber, so that even if they're not eating a lot, it's giving them the nutrients and the energy they need to kind of make it through. The other thing I found that, I don't know about your kids, but what they eat at school is always like hit and miss. I can send amazing lunches and some days they come home eaten and other days they don't. So if they've had, a really nutritious breakfast or start to the day, I'm kind of like less worried about what's happening during the school hours.
I can relate 100%. My teenager and preteen are the same. I'll send lunches and sometimes they get eaten, sometimes they don't. Often they'll eat them when they get home from school. So that first meal of the day is really important. And I definitely notice a difference in my kids and in myself if I don't include protein and good fat in that first meal of the day. There's sugar cravings and fatigue, mood swings like an hour and a half later. So that's a must in our family as well.
Yeah, I agree. And like, how can you sit in school and learn when your body is telling you and sending you signals that you're hungry? It's like it overtakes everything. So yeah, that is definitely, I think, one of the most important things for families to keep in mind is just really making sure there's nourishment first thing in the morning, that they drink plenty of water, because I find a lot of kids are dehydrated, especially if they've been doing sports in the evening. That refueling with water and hydration first thing in the morning can also be really valuable in helping with memory and concentration during the morning hours. Yeah.
And we can't have this conversation without touching on the importance of omega-3 fish oils. That's something that you're very well known for. That's your passion. That's your other baby, right?
That's another baby.
So how important do you feel those omega-3s are for mental, emotional health?
Absolutely. You know, it has been a passion of mine for my entire career in nutrition, and it became even more so when I started Sea-licious, and then I became a mom, and you know, I had my kids taste testing and licking fish oil off the spoon from the time they were like 1 year old, you know, and I think it's so important. We know that obviously the science is there to support including not only good fats in the diet, but then also adding in a supplement form of omega-3s because of all that connection to the fact our brain is built of fat. And the fact that our diets typically, even though we may be eating a fairly healthy whole foods diet, it typically just doesn't contain enough of those omega-3 fatty acids. So the more we can nourish those brain cells with good fats, it has shown there's a better response to stressful situations. It has shown improvement in sleep pattern and behavior. Also, of course, you get in better reading scores and learning and memory. And so there's significant science that's been done over the last 30, 40 years on this topic. And it's just of absolute utmost importance for kids and adults to have enough omega-3s in their diet. And taking a spoonful of omega-3 fish oil is such an easy way to ensure that you're meeting that minimum amount. And I think one of the challenges for parents, it can be like, you know, they're focused on just trying to make sure that they have healthy food in the house. And then of course, adding in some of the extras with supplements can often feel overwhelming. But if you pick 2 or 3, that's all the kids really need. You know, a good vitamin D, omega-3 fish oils, maybe you give them a probiotic or multi depending on their diet. That's it, honestly, unless there's specific health issues, that should be enough to really give them kind of the basic and then a little more of the nutrients that their body is really craving during this time of growth and, you know, this season in their life, which is so focused on brain power and that routine and memory and learning. So yeah, omega-3s are a must. And they taste great, so.
Well, especially yours. I have to say, you know, I work in a health food store, so I've tried all kinds of different fish oil supplements, and no word of a lie, the Sea-licious is by far the best tasting. There is no fishy aftertaste whatsoever. My 8-year-old takes it, he asks for it every day. It's like his treat. You know, he just
That's like
loves.
The best thing you could tell me.
Well, and they're so clean too. There's no, you know, no artificial ingredients in it, all natural. I absolutely love the product.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad that your experience has been positive. And I think that's just letting your kids try it. The younger you start with the kids, taking a liquid omega-3, the easier it is. And for some, it's not even the taste or the smell because there is none. It's more the oily texture that can sometimes be intimidating for kids. So if your child is finding that just by taking it directly from the spoon, which it is intended to do, you can easily mix it in with yogurts or oatmeal or a smoothie. Anything that has some fat in it to help blend the omega-3 in is a purely acceptable way to get those omega-3s into the kid. And you just, you know, make up a big smoothie and add it in there. And it's a great way to ensure they're getting their omegas.
I've actually found applesauce to be a really good way to get it in too. I know it doesn't have the fat content, but it blends really nicely.
Blends really nicely.
Yeah, yeah. And where can people find more information about you and about Sea-licious?
Okay, so we have a couple different places. We've got specifically on Sea-licious, we have our website, so you can just search up Sea-licious, .ca. I have a nutrition personal blog, KarleneKarst.com, and that will lead you to all my social platforms. I'm sort of pretty much popping on Instagram daily to show little snippets of our family life and work life, and how we try and put the effort forward. And I think effort is all that matters. And we do have a plan. Some days it doesn't go as easy or as smooth as we want, but I always say there's a for effort, and so I try to share a little bit about the real part of things as well on my social. So
your Instagram page is really beautiful and truly inspiring. So yeah, check it out, everybody, for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for following our education series. I invite you to check out more videos on our YouTube page and subscribe to our newsletter at naturalfoodpantry.ca. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Stay healthy, everyone.